very much, Paul. Host Mayor Bill Miller, Paul Neville, Rob Messenger, Glenn Churchill, citizens, and we have 500 people here today, so I reckon it's absolutely fantastic representation of the community to tell Peter Beattie that we are very, very unhappy indeed. Peter Beattie is taking the local out of local government, and I'll tell you, we are taking the fight up to him as hard and as fast as we can. And even this morning in the Parliament of Queensland, where Beattie tried to ridicule our Red Friday. He ridiculed the fact that 70 communities across the state were out there protesting against him. And in the end, Jeff Seedy and Fiona Simpson, the Deputy Leader, and Leader, they got evicted from the House. So I'll tell you that they are taking the fight right up to him. That is the avenue that we have, and we will continue to do that in a very, very strong way. Every way that we possibly can. Let's have a look at some of the reasons as to why this is happening. And while we all understand the impacts on local government, we don't always understand why this is happening. Why is Beattie doing this to us? Well, I'll tell you why he's doing it to us. He talked about the fact that he said councils were unsustainable. Absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. And there's never been a council gone broke, not likely to be a council go broke either in the next 100 years. It's all about a diversion. It's about a diversion away from a water crisis. We come from the land, we know what happens when dams go dry. You think, hell, I thought there was more water there than that. You think, hell, I didn't know there was so much silt in that dam. Hell, I didn't know the water's so putrid and the fish all die in it. And we all know that. And they're getting very short of water down there. He's got to find $7 billion. $7 billion he's got to find. And he needs a diversion. So this is one of the things that he's doing. He's also, interesting thing was, on the very day that he announced this, on the 17th of April, was the same day the Traviston Senate inquiry started. Another reason why he wanted a diversion. He's also recently just, another avenue in there, he's taking over South East Queensland Council water. Now I'll tell you how big that is. Queensland Rail is worth $10 billion. What Beattie's taking over in Brisbane and South East Corner is $18 billion worth of infrastructure. And you know what he wants to do with it? He don't want to sell it. He don't want to sell it or franchise it off. And this is what he's trying to do. This is one of the reasons behind it. And he wants to try and make sure a lot of those councils in the South East Queensland down there portion were under control because they were worried about losing some of this revenue. I mean, that revenue that they get from South East Queensland water is an important part of their overall revenue for those councils. If they don't have that, they've got to put their rates up. So there's another reason. The other third point, the main reason I think that Peter Beattie is doing this, it's his philosophy. It's their philosophy. It has always been their philosophy to reduce the number of councils because the majority of councillors who do make it to Parliament are Conservative. That's one of the main reasons he's doing it as well. So it's all those things. So that's what's basically happening. Now, of those councils that are supposedly unsustainable, he said 43%, there's about 10 to 13%, probably 13% of councils are in that bracket of financial difficulties. But you can do this review 10 years ago and you would have found exactly the same situation where councils go into a business cycle, they borrow money for maybe to sewage development, for water development, and such like. One case example is John Dairy. They borrowed $14 million to do a sewage scheme and a water scheme development. They had $6 million coming in subsidy. They're rated at the bottom because they borrowed this money. But in a few years' time, they'll be out of it because they spent the money now and they've gone through it. Another interesting point is Beattie changed the categories that the councils were rated on in relation to their financial ability. The weak category, for instance, there are about 5 or 6 categories. The weak category was classified in the past as average. Not unsustainable, average. He's changed that category to try and catch more councils. It's an absolute, he just tells lies all the time, and that's some of the reasons as to why those other diversions were important to him, and he's trying to back that up. Do you know, there are 15 reports that have been examined in relation to the sustainability of local government around Australia. 15 reports done by professionals. And in every one of those reports, In fact, they found the opposite. They found the opposite. Victoria, situation where they in fact did a lot of mass amalgamations down there. They are having to de-amalgamate some of those councils now. So that's some of the examples of what's happening. In Victoria, 11,000 jobs were lost when they did that amalgamation down there. 11,000 jobs.
Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to go. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to go. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to go. If BT has his way, our shire's back.